Yeah.
then your business is going to become more defensive. You know, you're building up all these layers around understanding one thing. Other businesses are going to find it very hard to do it better than you.
Yeah. From what you've learned, how do you think Melbourne compares to other places in Australia and other states?
Yeah, I read this really good book by a guy called Joel Spolsky, who's an American software entrepreneur, and he talks about hiring and doing a really good job at hiring staff. And the first thing he starts with is, okay, where's your headquarters going to be? And he takes the train lines and goes, okay, well, we've got Central, so maybe for Brisbane you've got Central, and you've got the Valley, and you've got Roma Street. They're probably the three train lines that you need to focus on. Then you draw circles around them, and then you look at all of the offices in those locations that fit your business, you know, like open office, like bright, natural light. And it's actually a process we went through. So we looked at Brisbane. We were on the Sunshine Coast when we started this business. I knew I needed to move to a city to find better staff. I looked at Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne. Brisbane, they say, is about 5% of the Sydney market, so it's a lot less people available for work. Therefore, when you've got less people, you've got less skill, you know, a smaller pool. And the average really good employee only changes jobs every 4 years. So you really want to make sure you're in the right location. So I looked at Sydney and Melbourne. Sydney, you're competing against Google. For good technology staff, you're competing against a company called Atlassian, which is one of the biggest software companies in the world. And it's also very corporate, and we are not very corporate. We're very, a different way we approach things. So we ended up choosing Melbourne. We ended up circling the train lines and working out where was a good location, because the last thing you want to do is when you've got a really good person coming through your interview process, but they live over there and your office is over the other side of the city, you don't want them to turn down the job because of where you are. So we actually chose the location, the Melbourne location, for a few reasons, and we ended up right in the middle of the city here because we want, uni students to work here. We want everyone to be able to work here.
Yeah. How far away do you live from here? Do you live in the CBD or?
It's funny, we actually signed the lease to this office and moved the company down, and I still hadn't found a house to live at that point. So I really didn't want that to be part of my thinking. A lot of CEOs and founders of businesses, they're generally within 3 kilometres of their house is their headquarters. But it's proven that businesses that have their CEO closer to their house are slightly less profitable, which is more of the same reason, like a CEO will choose a location for their office based on what he or she prefers. So for me it didn't matter. It actually just happens that I'm close. I'm only a kilometre away. So I'm at the bottom of the city. But it doesn't matter, I'd be happy to commute. It's more important that all of our staff here have an office that's in the right location for them.
From your experiences living in Melbourne City, do you feel like there are enough events to cater for all ages and demographics?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, even Brisbane, Brisbane and Sydney offer a lot for everyone, yeah. Melbourne, I think someone told me the other day that there's a festival here every week. So there's, last week was the beer festival.
Yeah.
There's a Buddha one on...
A Buddha one,
Yeah.
The Buddha Day or something?
Yeah, right. And there's also a protest every week, so
Yeah, so
unbelievable.
much.
There's a lot going on. Culturally, the city is amazing. There's plenty of art galleries, there's plenty of good food, there's plenty of entertainment. It just depends what you're into. Comedy festival. There's lots of stuff. Last weekend I went and did a marathon. I know your dad's really into running. Down Great Ocean Road. There's always things that people into sport and music, everything.
Yeah. What do you think Melbourne's most popular type of events are?
AFL Grand Finals always massive. The MCG, Formula One in February, Australian Open is amazing if you like tennis. Even if you don't, I went this year and it's really cool to watch. So sport is Melbourne Cup, of course. Spring racing is really popular down here for the fashion and obviously the racing. So probably sport, and then comedy and lots of stuff.
Do you go to events regularly?
Yeah, I stay pretty busy here,
Yeah.
but definitely.
Yeah. When you find you're going to events, is it normally a wide variety of different, or just normally like all sport, or just mostly?
Yeah, wide variety actually. I went to the theatre the other day and saw Matilda. I haven't gone to the theatre since I was at uni, and that was good. Yeah, I went to the Australian Open. I've got an AFL game in a few weeks. I'm going to the marathon. So yeah, I mean, for me, my interests are obviously a bit more in sport, for what I do, but happy to always try new things. That's a good thing about the city. I went to a garden festival the other day. Like, I'm not into gardening, but it's something different, you know.
Yeah. When you go to events, do you tend to go on your own or with family and friends?
With family and friends.
Yeah.
Even some of our staff, every month, our staff, we have an outing together. So, based on how the business is performing, we have a certain amount of money available for events. So next week we're doing a wine and cheese tasting with the staff. We've done things like a prison tour, which is like a prison ghost tour late at night, which was frightening, where Chopper Reed was locked up in North Melbourne. We've done a corporate box at the footy. We've done lots of different events like that. So I go with my staff too.
Yeah. What do you think Melbourne needs more of in terms of events?
It's got a lot. It's sometimes actually just really hard knowing about them. You know,
Yeah.
like you find out through friends that something's going on. And I've had a look at like the Melbourne website, and it's okay, but it is hard to stay in touch. Yeah, you know what? I think it does an amazing job at events.
Yeah.
Brisbane doesn't do a very good job at events. So yeah, it's got a lot covered.
Kind of leads on to my next question. Do you think that most of the events here are marketed well enough?
No, yeah, I think that they could improve. The big ones are marketed well, and things like the Formula One, throughout the city, there's flags up on all the poles, there's stickers on the ground telling you where the nearest tram is. The trams are free, even though they go outside the city for any ticket holders. There's audio announcements at any tram stop. They'll explain like Formula One is on, this weekend, these are the tram times and all that stuff. They do a really good job, but some of the smaller events, you don't find out until too late, I think. And yeah, it's hard. I guess social media is a great way to do that. And the Melbourne website.
Yeah. If you could create your own event, what would it be, and how would you go about forming it?
I think this is probably a bit different, but in technology, a lot of the software developers that we hire are very, very good at what they do, and we're trying to get them into public speaking a lot more. So probably for me, it would be about creating an event where you get a bunch of engineers or software engineers together in a room, and you just talk about like latest technology. So it'd be more of a conference, but there's an opportunity there. There's a few of them around, but to get some really good developers together and just talk about technology, and that'd be good. It'd only be small though.
Yeah, and they're all the